Talking with Beecher. Let's go.
So I'm going to do a tutorial video. Tutorial? Whatever. So when you in your editing software, mine is Final Cut Pro, and I've used DaVinci Resolve as well. Great stuff. But I like Final Cut Pro. I'm going to show you guys how to do a workflow without eating up your computer. I had a really hard time learning this, so hopefully this helps you. So if you look at my podcast, I record it in 4K, and I have 3 cameras. So I have triple angles, all 4K video, which is a lot of data. My podcast is, let's see here, it is 400 gigs for 2 hours. That's crazy, 400 gigs for 2 hours. I don't even have an external hard drive. So what I was doing was just putting it into Final Cut Pro and letting it render. So I tried to let it render, and it ate up a whole terabyte hard drive, and my computer, it didn't work. So here's what you do. So let's see here. First thing you want to do is you want to go to this view right here, and you go to proxy only. So instead of the optimized original, you go to proxy only. When you go to proxy only, you take your video. This one is 65 gigs. Let's time and see how long it takes to proxy this thing. So 65 gig video. Let me drop it into Final Cut. Boom, and go. And we're gonna see how long this takes to render out. Okay, so the render time for this was about an hour and 32. Well, probably an hour and 20 right here. But this is what happens when you do that. You use the proxy media. So here's the clip that was proxied in there. They're all proxied right now. But look, there's no lag at all. I move it, press play.
Since you're in music,
It works. There's no lag. There's no nothing.
go blow up your car. Bill Burr, well, a comedian.
So what it'll do is it'll make your editing so much faster. So what it does is it renders it at a lower resolution, to where whenever you're editing, it's a lower resolution. But then whenever you render it out, you can render it out in 4K, and I'll put that next. What happens when you try to render it in proxy media. I'll put that up there, and you'll see how it works. It's so much better, and I hope I'm not like an expert at this stuff at all, but I wish I would have known this when I first started. I ate up my whole computer, and now that I know this, it makes my workflow so much faster, so much easier. And then we'll get to the render when I'm done editing this whole podcast, about 6 hours. And watch how fast the editing goes. Whenever you do the proxy files, like I said, it renders it in a lower resolution. So if you look at this, the main screen, it's not 4K, but there's no lag. There's no nothing in here. There's no lag at all. Watch.
You buy this $3,000, piece of gear, and you have hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of amps. So it's cool, but my dad had me when he was like 51, 52, so he lived the old school. He just did things like old school way. He was very traditional. That's how I grew up. So I listened to a bunch of Elvis and stuff growing up. And
I love Elvis.
I love Elvis. And Elvis and Johnny Cash and Frank Sinatra and stuff like that.
See how fast it's moving? Now, we're going to get to the render when I'm done editing this. So when you render this, you have to go back to the view and go back to optimized original. Now, if you make a mistake and you forget to do that, it'll tell you. So file, share, 4K. See, it pops up right here. This project is currently set to use proxy media. And you don't want that, because then the output is going to be that rendered proxy half resolution, and I want 4K. So all you got to do is go back to this view, go into optimized original, and then you go to render it, and that's it. And it will render in 4K. Share 4K, and that's it. And that's